Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our first edition of our webinar series for DIS Pay. We definitely appreciate the time. We know how busy it is at the dealerships. And so you guys sitting, this 30 minutes next to an hour just for this product, it means a lot to us, right? And so, kind of just getting into it, we understand you guys have been, the way you have been processing has been unattached, right? And what does that mean? It means you guys are using a solution, you guys are doing a lot of things manually, and we saw that pain point and we decided to take care of it. And that's why we launched DIS Pay, right? And so this is what a future with embedded payments looks like, excuse me. And so as Tan was saying, I am Steven Tinoco. I'm the sales product specialist for DIS Pay. For those of you on this call that have already purchased DIS Pay, it's good to see you again. Hopefully you can say the same thing about me. And then this is Sean Castellino. We work hand in hand as he is leading the payments initiative as the payments initiative manager, right? So anything and everything related to pay, we're your go-to guys. Um, and this is kind of where we see the market as DIS customers on Quantum. You guys are having this issue with standalone payments, right? So it's a disconnected tool to where you guys are probably punching out manually, playing hot potato kind of with those credit card machines, right? It's I do everything I need to do in Quantum, and then your team at the point of sale is actually taking their focus away from the business system. They're picking up a credit card machine. They're manually punching in numbers. They're making sure it matches going back and forth. I know myself, I like to triple check. It's not the most time efficient thing, right? And then there might come a point in time to where you're like, man, I charged this customer $1,525.17 instead of 18 cents. Oh, well, hopefully they don't notice. Or, oh, well, I need the accounting team or bookkeeping team, which need to fix in the back end. It's not the best way, right? That opens you guys up to a lot of liability with like fraud, with chargebacks, and 10 times out of 10, those are cases that you guys lose to where you lose money, as well as to where you incur additional fees that you don't need to, right? And then in addition to that, most of the time when our dealers get statements, they just see how much they need to pay. It's always too much, right? And then they just input that entry into their GL. It's a credit card expense, and then on to the next. And then in addition to that, our dealers have also been complaining and dealing with the issue that you might have a dealer for your terminals, your hardware, your credit card machines, whatever you want to call them. You guys might have multiple vendors for multiple ways of payment acceptance. You might have one guy for your in-store. You might have one girl for your online. You might have another for another type of payment solution you guys are offering, and you have to juggle and deal with multiple companies, multiple vendors, and multiple support lines too, right? We DIS Pay, we're the solution that we've programmed, established, and launched to the market. We're saying goodbye to all those issues, all the manual reconciliation in the back end for bookkeeping, all the rekeying errors, whether that's in the again, on the accounting side, whether it's at the point of sale side, and we're saying goodbye to really like that human error. The machine is taking over. Quantum is such a powerful business system, and the payments aspect is just one additional piece to that, right? Just making this one great seamless system to help you guys save time and save money at the point of sale. And so this is what um, the embedded payments future is with DIS Pay, right? It's a faster print, a faster close, and faster payment, faster close and faster payment, right? We're simplifying everything and we're speeding it up. Again, the machine is going to be the quantum business system is going to be able to speak to the machine. You guys are going to be eliminating that manual entry there. We're going to be automatically making those inputs on the back end and tying them to entries. Like, so the transaction ties to an actual document, and so you guys will no longer need to do double entry on the back end for accounting. And then apart from that, we're also a level 1 payment processing provider. We actually pass an external audit by a qualified security assessor. And then we follow all levels of PCI compliance as a level 1 provider. And it's also SOC 2 Type 2 data transference, right?
Hey, Steven, just a quick
Yeah.
question. So what does this mean for our clients when it comes to PCI compliance?
So that's a great question, Sean. And with PCI compliance, this means, for example, you guys probably every time you sign up for payment processing, what does it look like? You guys get thrown a PCI document that's dozens to hundreds to thousands of pages. You don't know what it means. You don't know what it says. It's kind of scary. and then the burden falls on you, right? It's just, I need to figure this out. Sometimes a vendor, what they do is they say, hey, we have this other guy that we work with, pay him money and he'll help you figure it out. Or they say, we have a PCI program that says be compliant with us, but you can do all those steps. And then at the end of the day on your statement, you still see a $75, $80 PCI non-compliance fee. But you're trying to figure out everything, you're focused on everything, but you guys have busy seasons. You guys have one, two, multiple dealerships you're working on. And where DIS Pay comes into this, the way our integration is actually built, we take a lot of the burden off of you and it's onto the integration itself. And our PCI compliance is so simple. When you guys sign up for DIS Pay, part of your onboarding package and token process, it's actually something you guys complete. It's a quick checklist. And as soon as you just download that document for all the PCI pages, you're done. All you need to ensure to remain PCI compliant is to process with DIS Pay. Does that answer your
Wow.
question, Sean?
Yeah, that sounds super simple. Thanks.
No, of course, I appreciate the question. This is something payments can be scary, right? We look at it just as an expense from like an operator, like dealer principal, or even accounting point of view. It's just, man, they're just finding ways to charge us more and more and more. But what do we get out of it? With us, you get a partnership, and that's an awesome thing we built here at DIS Pay. And so with DIS Pay, right? This is our own product. We own it, we live it, we love it, we develop it. Nobody tells us what to do with it except who? Except you guys. Our customer base runs our roadmap. You guys tell us what you need, we take it into consideration, we work on it, and then we get you guys some dates, we get you guys some solutions. That's not what we get with our other payment processing partners, such as Gravity or Global, or previous integrations, even such as Sentry, which some of you may have been on, right? This is an amazing way to where you guys now have a say in not only who you partner with, but what that partner does. Because DIS Pay is only for DIS customers. We don't process for the restaurant down the road who's doing their own thing with payment processing. We don't process, for somebody that might be on another DMS provider. This is only for DIS customers, right? And the cool thing is with DIS Pay, since it's DIS, we integrate as an embedded solution with our other product suite, right? This is natively built for Quantum users, right? We also, if there's any Quipware Solutions customers, this will be available in Quipware and Solutions as well. But for example, DIS Pay. Right now, we're working with you guys to replace your in-store payment processing, right? At the counter, at the point of sale, in the back office, you're processing documents. You need a card payment for it. You can use DIS Pay today, right? What does that mean when it works with my portal? You guys will be able to use my portal, push the burden of account receivables collections onto the customer. They can have and make their own login, right? And they can look at their statements, they can look at their invoices, and then they can actually pay for a single invoice or consolidated invoice with DIS Pay through a credit card or a debit card, and then through DIS Pay with ACH, right? With RentHub. Some of you dealers have rentals. Maybe you signed up for RentHub already. Maybe you considered it. Maybe you've seen a demo. Maybe you've never even heard of it. But it's a rental um, solution that we have that our dealers love. And with it integrated with DIS Pay, you will be able to have recurring billing turned on, right? You guys will be able to eliminate that manual step of having to do all this billing all the time. Remember, it's like calendar updates, write down in notebooks, all those things. And then finally, with Notify 360, the way it integrates with that is Notify 360, as some of you may know or not know, is a super powerful CRM tool, marketing campaign tool organizer. You know, such a strong product on its own already. When integrated with DIS Pay, you guys will actually be able to send remote payment links, like text to pay links. You can literally send out to your customer from Notify 360 saying, hey, I have this invoice, here's a link to pay for it. For lessening the burden on your team for an accounts receivables like collector to more so focusing on other tasks that might be revenue producing, that might be analytical, that might be something just more focused to your day-to-day operations. And this is something you guys can rely on to where it'll take care of you instead of you needing to be so on top of it, right? And so this disconnects you guys from having three, four, five different types of vendors, and all you would need to use and rely on is just DIS, right? And we have had success with customers with at DIS making the switch over from previous payment processors of all different types. Maybe it's their local processing guy from down the street they know for 20 years. Maybe it's their local bank that they've worked with since they started their company. Maybe it's another one of the solutions that we've even, worked with before, but they wanted to go ahead and try maybe the DIS pay because they've had issues with who they're currently processing with, right? And so it's just a great solution that really completes our entire product suite. And at the end of the day, you guys could be saving money all while having the business system work that much harder for you, right? And so really just to recap, quantum in and of itself is already such a powerful tool, right? You guys run your entire business through there. You guys put your customers through there. You guys hold your inventory through there. You guys do accounting through there, right? You guys are filling out quotes, work orders, service tickets, rentals, marketing with Notified 360, anything and everything you need to do. You're running your business through Quantum. However, when you're working with an unattached or non-integrated payment processor, it's really a fractured setup. You could be benefiting so much more just from adding DIS pay, and it could even be a reduction in your operating expenses, saving you money, putting you more money back into your bank account at the end of the day, while taking advantage of the recurring rentals for billing on Rent Hub, the text to pay links on Notify 360, and even the My Portal solution where customers can pay for the invoices themselves by credit, debit, or ACH, right? And so this is how and it completes the ecosystem, right? You have all these different components, all these different pieces, and the one piece that could be missing from you guys is the payment processing piece. And what I do want to show you guys, just because, you might be thinking, it's just payments. What can it really do? I accept payments all the time in my store, but like everybody knows how to take a credit card, right? One thing I do want to show you guys is actually what our integration looks like. And so I will go ahead here and show you. Let me open up Quantum on my end, right? Your workflows do not change. The same way you set up documents, you go over to point of sale, you go over to invoicing, right? Confirming your point of sale printer options. Let's just do a counter sale for this example. Well, let's open up a new document. This in the point of sale invoicing screen is already, excuse me, where the integration comes to life, right? Right here, you guys see that this DP code auto-filled and auto-populated. What does that mean? A lot of your teams are probably used to putting MasterCard, Visa, Discover, Amex, recording each and every single different type of card. You have got to look at it. The customer might be thinking, well, why are you looking at my card for? It's just a credit card. Just take the payment, right? With the IS Pay, we eliminate that manual step already, saving you guys already man hours on the front line at the point of sale, right? And the cool thing is too, we put in our sold by. Let's just do a test document here. We can do something simple, let's do 15 bucks. Now, we're going to go over and print and close. And this is also where the integration comes into play. So we have our invoice number, we have it that it's going to be through DIS Pay. And then the cool feature that a lot of our customer base can't take advantage of because they don't have DIS Pay is being able to use saved card tokens on file, right? Basically, it's a PCI compliant way to save card information and reutilize it for billing for customers without actually storing the credit card information, whether it's writing them down in a notebook, whether it's having your customer take a photo of it and send it to you guys through text or email, all ways that are against the card brand regulations. This way, you guys can use it, store it, keep it, have it, being 100% PCI compliant, right? And so if you have a customer coming in, they agree to having their card information stored as a token, you could just leave this checked. It automatically comes pre-checked. If they don't want it, just leave it unchecked. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll actually leave it checked, right? And then here is the DIS Pay 100% PCI compliant integration, right? This I-bar that populated here is what keeps you guys PCI compliant. The way that the engineers and developers designed it is to take the burden and risk off of you guys as dealers, owners, operators, and users, and it puts this burden really on the iframe, right? And this over here, it may seem redundant, but it's also 100% PCI compliant because you have your document number, you have the outstanding balance on your document, and then you have what's being charged to the credit card. You guys remember earlier when I mentioned to you, you might pick up your terminal, it's 15 bucks, maybe you put 1501. That doesn't seem like a big deal. Well, when I call my bank and I say, hey, I got charged for 1501, but my invoice only says 15, that's a chargeback. You might get charged, lose out on on the invoice. And then you also get charged 25, 35, $45, whatever it is your current payment processor charges you, all because you guys were relying on making sure somebody can manually input the numbers correctly on a terminal instead of having the device do the work for you, right? Now, with payment acceptance, there's a few different ways we can actually take payment. It's with a credit card machine or a terminal, as we call it. If you have one machine, multiple machines within your division, you can actually select the drop down, select one from there. I, for example, have a couple at my desk here in the demo environment. And then with this being checked in the previous screen, this is what lets you know, hey, yep, we're going to save this card. And if the card's already saved onto the file, it's not like it's going to create a duplicate. It'll just, just leave the one token that's there if it's the same exact card. We also can accept manual payments. What does that mean? Someone doesn't have their credit card or debit card. They might be phoning in the order. They might not be in the store at all. Or maybe somebody came in and then they're like accounting or bookkeeping team or somebody else on their team actually has a credit card information. You could call their office or have them call you. And then all you need is the credit card number, expiration date, security code, the name on the card, and then the full billing address. And I know this seems redundant, this seems tedious, right? Because a lot of these people, and even like your Amazons and your Walmarts, they say, hey, all they need is my credit card number and my zip code. What do you need all this information for? All this information is what we've decided as a payment processor to help protect you guys in a much more conservative way, right? Because if we just have your credit card number and we just have your zip code, who knows where they got the information from, right? It could just be somebody bought it on the dark web. Somebody did a data scrape online. They're just trying out different credit card codes and seeing what they can get away with. But if you have the card number, full information, full billing address for a full address verification service, more likely than not, that's going to be a legitimate charge, and this helps protect you guys should a chargeback be initiated, right? And then you guys see here, there's a saved card on file. And so whether it's at the terminal, whether it's manual, you guys can use a safe card payment and we're actually processed that way, right? Super simple, super easy, seamless, flawless, right? And now that's one part of DIS Pay. It's the checkout. It seems like a lot, but it's super simple to use and then becomes just second nature. It's going to save your guys' teams a ton of time at the point of sale. And then just going into, hey, we use a safe card token on file. What happens when the customer card is expiring or the customer wants to change it, but they're not in the store to make that change? All right, that's no problem. We can head over to marketing, head over to address maintenance. Let's look up our customer, right? We head over to the credit card screen. We enter our security code to get past the gate. And then we can go in here and hit delete credit card. We can mark one as default or unmark as default. And then there's this button here that says reveal number. This is the way we also protect you guys, right? The only information you see here is the only information you're allowed to see. It's the customer address, the customer name, DIS pay, last four digits, right? Super cool. If you guys needed to create a new credit card or add one to the customer's account, you just hit new credit card. Anytime you accept a card in your store, MasterCard, Visa, Discover, Amex, it would be the P for DIS pay. And then it just comes up as a token, right? You guys can save either at the terminal or you guys can save a card manually as well. The same exact way we transact, it looks exactly the same way, whether it's in the point of sale invoicing or it's even in address maintenance here. Let's just go ahead and cancel that for this demo. And then the cool thing is too, we actually have our dashboard, right? So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Altura, this is basically where a lot of our add-on products live and for Quantum and DIS, right? Or even for our other solutions like Quipware and Solutions. And so if you guys aren't on the latest version of Quantum, as part of our onboarding process, we'll actually get you set up with Quantum, set up with your logins, and that's at no additional cost, right? Altura Access is not something that costs extra. This is just where the products you guys purchase, some of them are stored, right? You guys can access it through another web browser if you wanted to have two tabs open, totally up to you. Or if you just wanted to add convenience, you hit A, hit Altura, makes a call out to it, haven't even left the screen, right? We head over because DIS Pay lives in accounting, it lives in payments, and then we have DIS Pay transactions. and we have our DIS Pay dashboard. I love this thing because it automatically populates month to date, right? And so we want to figure out what's going on in our business month to date. So whether we have one location, this will just show the one location, or if you have multiple divisions, you can actually do a drop down and check on how that division's doing, right? See how much they've transacted, see how much they've refunded, see what the total is of the transactions minus the refunds, see that total transaction count, and then also see the total successful transactions. And this is how fast we are, right? It's immediate. You don't need to wait, a day, 2 days. It's literally within seconds, all this information gets pushed out to Altura in our DIS Pay dashboard. And so we can see, here's that $15 charge for Jason Holt. It was this invoice ID. We paid by saved card on file, and it was the last four digits of the credit card number. And if we wanted to see more than the last 10 transactions, we can either access that by hitting view all here, or we can actually access it by hitting the transaction screen here, or transaction button here, sorry. And so just like you can see here, here's that successful transaction. It was document CS63372. It was at Fred's Equipment. Jason Holt was the customer. We charged him 15. It was successful. It was at 2:16 p.m. Eastern on March 26th. Saved card, last four digits, Visa. A lot more information than you're probably getting with your current payment processor at no additional cost, right? And so if you guys wanted to look down and see what was going on, you can actually say, oh, okay, we just canceled a $0.00 transaction, nothing going on. We had another successful transaction of $1.10 today. You guys have insights into your business and to see what's going on in real time. And then whenever you guys save a card token as well, this is the part that keeps me honest, right? It's going to be $0 and 0 cents. It's going to be a card saved. You're going to have your authorization code, and then you guys will always have the last four digits to reference as well. And then you guys can also see if something has been canceled, and then something if you guys already refunded, it will show you the transaction that's been refunded and the amount that's been refunded, whether it's been the total ticket or a partial refund. And then we also tell you when a transaction has failed to go through, right? Super simple, super awesome to use. And if you guys ever needed it, you guys can also choose the location, division, the date range, and export to a CSV file for your transaction history. All super simple to use with DIS Pay. Now, moving on to terminals. With DIS Pay, the cool thing about this integration, our recommendation to our customer base is you might be able to use and get away with one terminal per store, right? There's sometimes maybe situations to where you're like, hey, like I might use 5 terminals in a store. Well, is it because of your business needs, or is it just because of you've spent extra money and extra capital on hardware due to the inconvenience of having unattached and unintegrated processing, right? Because with all these terminals, right, whether you have one location or multiple divisions, we can assign terminals to a division. So people operating that division, anybody that has access to Quantum can send a transaction to that terminal. So if you have 2 point of sale stations, you can have two guys sharing one terminal, two guys having two terminals, whatever it is you need. If you have somebody in the back office that needs to send a payment, they can send that payment to that terminal at the point of sale station. We're really cutting down on that hardware expense that you guys maybe don't need to spend, right? And if you're like me and you don't like memorizing a huge list of serial numbers because there's not enough time in the day or interest one has, you can just come in, customize it. I just put Steven's AMS1, Steven's M450. We could put Sean's M400, whatever it is you need to do and however you need it, we help facilitate that for you, right? We make it super easy to use to where once it's set up, you kind of just set it and forget it, right? And then last but not least, we do have our daily deposit report. Our daily deposit report works in tandem with our batches for settlement, our next business day funding, and our daily deposit report. Why did I put it in that order? Because the cool thing is with DIS Pay, batches for settlement are automatically closed and captured at midnight, right? And they fund next business day. So if it's a Friday and you're going to Saturday, and if Monday's not a holiday, you won't see that money until Monday. But if it's Monday, Tuesday's not a holiday, you will get that money deposited into your bank account next business day. We don't charge 25, or actually I think the new rate is 35 cents per batch, right? per terminal, by the way, which a lot of companies do that we don't. And then we do next business day funding net of fees. So we'd already take out the processing fees prior. So you guys have 100% of the money that's owed to you, due to you by next business day. And then the following business day, right? So 2 business days after batching, after that batch closes out, a daily deposit report will populate in the DIS Pay dashboard here in reports and here in deposits. And while there's no data here in the demo environment, this is where you can go to help out for reconciliation, right? You're basically going to check out how much you've sold, how much you've paid in fees, and what your net payout was. And speaking of reconciliation, this is really easy, how easy and simple it is on the DIS Pay side, right? Back in point of sale, back in post point of sale documents, you guys will have access to transmit EDC credit card transactions, right? We'll go ahead and click DIS Pay. And then for a previous date, this is how much money and capital has passed through your business system that you guys swiped gross, right? So this is the amount of money that's been processed in your business system, right? And this is what you will make on one entry for the GL, right? And then you can actually come in here too if you wanted to and see how you're doing for the day. Here's all the transactions we've had so far. Here's all the document numbers. Here's all the customers that we've sold to. Jason holds a pretty popular customer on our end here at DIS, as you guys can tell. And you guys can see the different information here as well for a previous batch date, right? And then the cool part is using the daily deposit report over in Altura, right? We're able to verify over in accounting, in payments, in DIS pay transactions, over in reports, go over to deposits. Let's just say my daily deposit report is here. I export it. Here's an example one that I have. This number here that populates will be the number that's going to match and reconcile to your records in the transmit EDC credit card transaction screen, right? This number here is what's going to match your bank account. So at that point, really the reconciliation is done. You know the money's good, you know the money matches, and that money's ready to use. This is the number you guys will be inputting for your credit card expense entries in the GL. But for reconciliation process, that's really it. That's how simple we keep it. And then Sean, keep me honest here. Is there anything we might be missing that I'm not showing them that they could be taking advantage of with this system, or was that?
No, I really think you've covered just about everything there is. If anybody has a question, you can also type it in the chat. Be happy to look at that too. We'll have a question and answer period shortly after this. But yeah, I think for the most part, you've covered just about everything.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and head back here to the presentation. We'll just wait for it to load here. And then here, Sean, I actually want to pass this back off to you to talk about kind of, where we are regarding the product, where and kind of just where we will be, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Stephen. Hey, everyone. Sean here. I am the Payment Initiative Manager for DIS Pay. We've done a lot of great things over the time that I've been here from October till now. DIS Pay has grown quite a bit, and we've done that with the support and the knowledge from our clients. And what I mean by that is we've really taken the time to sit down and talk to all of our new customers that have come on board, learned from their pains and experiences with unintegrated processors, and tried to build solutions to that are truly integrated that help them in their day-to-day business. So everything here has been designed with our client in mind. And that's really important to remember. And that's how it'll continue to be as we go forward. Payments is meant to be integrated. It's meant to be built in, embedded within Quantum or within your DMS solution. So that way you can better transact, better support your clients, and have all the information in one spot at your fingertips. And so that's exactly what we did. We've also gone ahead and taught our support team on how to assist our DIS clients for DIS Pay. So what that really means is that you now have a one-stop shop when it comes to customer support. You only have one neck to ring, so to speak, but I really do mean that. You can go to one spot in one place and get the help you need, and that's great. We've also come to the realization that having someone to talk to is not always enough. Sometimes our clients just want to self-help, and we've had a lot of clients tell us that. So we've gone ahead and we've actually built out a library with support information that you can use to self-help. This is really important for us. It just speaks to the fact that we really talk to our clients. We want to hear what you have to say, and we take that into account when we design our products. Finally, the last thing that I just wanted to cover over here on this slide is security. Stephen touched on it before, and I asked him a question about it, but the reality is that security is very important to us here at DISPay. How we store your data, how we keep it safe from people who shouldn't be accessing it is very important to us. And so we follow the strictest compliance when it comes to PCI compliance. And we make sure that every day we're keeping your card data safe. And we enable you to have that data stored in a safe environment when it comes to tokens and keeping it. So that way you no longer have to write it down on a Post-it note. You can better serve your repeat clients that way. And we find that one of the best security features that we have. After that, we have address verification. Stephen touched upon that as well. That's something that's very important to us as well. We wanted to make sure that we could reduce the amount of chargebacks coming in. Well, nothing will ever stop a chargeback. Verifying the address will be another piece of evidence that you could use to fight the chargeback and ultimately win. So that said, I really think payments is something that's going to change the way you guys do business. It's going to benefit you having it all built into one place. So we'll take a look at the next slide. And yeah. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was, where's payments going? Well, in reality, payments is going where you guys guide us. So by coming on board to DISPay, you'll be helping guide the future of DISPay. So while we have a couple of things listed here, the much more part really means that we're going to be talking to you. We're going to be learning how you guys did things before, some of the things you like, some of the things that you want to see improved, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make those changes. While we can't guarantee that everything will be made within the year, we can say that, hey, we are going to put it on our timeline and we're going to get it done. Now, with that said, there's some things that we want to bring to the table, some things that we've already brought to the table and that we heard from our clients. For example, the ability to do multi-deposits. So we know that we didn't touch upon that here, but we want you guys to know that that functionality is available. So today you can have multiple divisions, and each division can have their own bank account associated with it. So that way we can make it simpler for your accounting team to do accounting for Division A, and then Division B and Division C. Everything we do is to make things simpler, and that's really our goal. When it comes to ACH payments, we understand that taking credit card payments is just one facet of payments as a whole. Being able to take payments directly from a client's bank account is something that has been expressed as a very important need for our clients. And so we've gone ahead and started building that out, with that solution coming to my portal very shortly. From there, we've also understood that the reconciliation process can be a little bit difficult for our clients, whether it's integrated or non-integrated. Just the whole process can be very manual. And so we wanted to automate that. And so we're coming at that in two phases. The first phase will be done in Altura, with the second phase being done in Quantum and Altura. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is automate it. Tell you that, hey, what you received in your bank account and what you've seen here in Quantum all match up, and you're good to go. And then from there, we'll be able to post that line item directly to your GL account. So that's going to be huge for you guys. It's going to save you guys a lot of time, and it's going to allow you to put resources where it needs to be, servicing your clients. Finally, accounts receivable and collections. Now, we understand that you guys have outstanding ER, and we know that not everybody gets paid on time as much as we would like that, whether it's here at DIS or whether it's an accounting firm or it's a dealership such as yourselves. We understand that AR is a really big issue across the payment sphere. And so what we want to do to help with that is implement some AI tools that will help you send out reminders to your clients on 30, 60, and 90-day notices, allowing them to better understand that, hey, there's money outstanding and we would like for you to pay. We also want to go ahead and do that in different ways using Notify 360 as well, doing text to pay. That's a functionality that's available today and that you can do with DISPay. So at the end of the day, We're just trying to make your lives easier in how you collect payments and making sure that things are automated so that way your clients know that there's outstanding amounts and that they can pay at any time. And then also how your clients pay, whether it's with credit card, whether it's with ACH, check, or cash, they have the ability to make a payment to you and you have the ability to collect on that payment. So finally, we come down to much more, and I touched upon that a little bit earlier. Much more is really just your guidance, telling us what you want to see in this product and where you see it going. That really helps us out. The more feedback we get, the more we can change this product for the better, to better help you do what it is you need to do and to get what you need to get from payments. So with that, Stephen, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sean. That's great. Just being especially on the sales side, I love to see where we are and where we're going. It's exciting. It's fun. It's a pleasure to work with you guys. It's a pleasure to work with the DIS team on this product specifically, and just how we kind of complete this whole process together, right? And so one thing that Sean did touch on as well was the chargebacks. You know, the cool thing with DIS Pay and our consolidated support was something that I even forgot to mention earlier was chargeback support. What does that look like at DIS? We arbitrate those on your behalf. So apart from closing the fracture and closing like that separation on your DMS quantum and your payment processing provider, closing the gap in the fracturing on all the products and how they could be integrated together with that payment aspect, consolidating that support. But it just goes that much further to where you guys might be dealing with third-party chargeback vendors. You guys might be dealing with just losing those cases left and right because you kind of don't know what's going on because you're not payment processing people. That's why Sean and I were hired. We're from this industry, we're in this industry, and we're growing this product, right? And so one of the decisions that were made was our support team is going to work with you on gathering the information that we need on fighting a chargeback, but then that's really all you need to do. We arbitrate those on your behalf, and we're pretty good at it. And what I know we've been speaking for a while here, but one thing I did want to offer those of you who have attended our webinar is a special DIS Pay webinar offer, right? We have specials that go on, just depending on what management wants to push out, what we're able to do. But something we're actually able to offer as part of this webinar was if you send me an email, you call in, either support line, your account rep, whoever it is, mention that you were at this webinar. Mention that, you sat through it, you were there, you want to learn more about it. And we can actually get you one set up with a waived DIS pay fee. We typically have a one-time setup fee of $99, but if you attend this webinar, we'll just waive that for you. You know, we make it super simple, and then we just want to reduce that burden of entry for you by putting money right back in your pocket and getting access to a product that will benefit you immensely. In addition to that, there's a free statement review and ROI analysis. We'll sit down, we'll set up a time, we'll go through a demo, right? Check the product out again. You saw the webinar. You might have some questions that come up. Maybe they weren't answered at the webinar, and you might want some of that more one-on-one dedicated time. It's not going to cost you anything. Sometimes, there's charges for training, there's charges for many things in this world, but this is something that we're able to get you at no cost. All it takes is time on my end, time on your end, and that's more than enough, right? So what does that statement review and ROI analysis look like is we get one statement per quarter per store, right? So 4 statements per store sent over. You can send it to me in an email. We have a secure file upload you guys can follow as well. I'll send it out to you, upload them in there, or send them to me directly. And then we'll take a look at where you are currently, how much you're processing, how much you guys are paying in fees, what you're paying for, what does it all mean, right? And then explore, well, have the honest conversation at the end of the day of, you know what, you have a pretty good deal. You guys would just really be benefiting from the integration at that point. Or it's, you know what, we can actually save you money. It might not be as much as you're expecting, but there's room here for you guys to save money. It could be a lot of money because DIS Pay does not charge a lot of these outrageous fees or even per location fees that a lot of these processors do. And then also we have the options and the ability for you guys to offset up to 100% of your payment processing fees, 100% compliantly. You never have to worry about regulations changing. You never have to worry about, angry customers at the end of the day. And then you get 100% of your payment processing fees back in your pocket, back in your business, and you can use that on whatever you want, right? You could use it on more DIS products. You could use it on payroll. You could use it on, it's like, hey, I want to give my people a raise. Or maybe it's even, you know what? I've had a tough time this year. Maybe I just want to treat my people to like a dinner. Maybe we want to go on vacation. Whatever that looks like for you and your business, it's up to you because you can have the opportunity to eliminate 100% of that payment processing expense, right? And so to be able to do that, this is my email, right? Steven.tinoco@discore.com. And there's this 800 number. You guys can call in directly to the sales line. You can ask to speak to me directly, or you guys can put in a ticket with your sales rep or call your sales rep, whatever it is, flow to me, however you guys feel comfortable. This really is a no pressure sale. Whether it's just wanting more info, it's like, hey, Steven, I didn't really understand this. Can we just have a quick conversation? Yeah, of course. Or, hey, you know what? I actually want to take the time and learn more about the product, explore a path forward. What does this look like? What does it all mean? What equipment do you guys offer? How does this all look, right? And then, just like Tan is mentioning in the chat, if you want to claim this offer, you can actually select yes in the last question in the survey, and we'll proactively reach out to you as soon as possible, right? I'm a sales guy. Whether that lead comes in or that survey response comes in at 8 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern, whatever it is, I'm going to get back to you as quick as I can. This is my number one priority, taking care of you guys, getting you guys embedded processing, and then being a true payment processing partner instead of just a vendor, right? And on my end, that is everything I have. Sean, are there any maybe last remarks you would like to add?
No, there's no last remarks, but if you have questions, now's the time. We'd love to answer any questions you have. If you want to ask it to us one-on-one, not a problem. Sign up for that session, and then from there, Stephen can answer your questions in person.
100%. And just like Dan was saying, I am a nice guy. Um, and it's not just an empty promise, right? My sales manager, Gene Leidig, he's been in the industry 20, 30 years, way longer than I've been here. And he always likes to tell the story, right? It's the story of the nine liars. I always mess it up. I'm not a great story reteller. He tells it great. But basically it's you got 10 guys that are trying to sell you the same thing and tell you the same story, right? Say I'm such and such. I'm here to sell you payment processing. One by one by one by one, they all come in. And the first nine guys, they all sound great. They tell you everything you need to hear. They say exactly what you want. They just promise you the world, right? It's, oh, I'm going to get you this. I'm going to get you that. We can do this. We could do that. And then I come in and I say, hey, I'm Steven Sunoco. I'm the DIS paid sales specialist. And this is how payment processing works at DIS. We have an honest conversation, a one-on-one, a deep dive into what you're looking like, and then have a completely different conversation. And you just kind of take a step back and you're like, man, this guy sounds weird. Why doesn't he sound like the other nine experts that I talked to today? What's going on? It's because we do business differently at DIS. We have honest conversations with our customers, where we are, where we're going to be, and then recognize like, hey, what do we need to do? How are we going to get there? Have this conversation together and let you know whether it's just information you need, whether it's the step you guys want to take. You guys will have a payment processing partner in your corner fighting for you, at bat for you. And then at the end of the day, my hope is to put more money in your pocket too. So all that and more. And that is my last remark. Definitely appreciate you guys your time and thank you for putting this together.